Alright, so today we're going to be taking a look at the LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga tier list. This is in reference to competitive play, which I made a video on earlier. There'll be a link in the description if you want to watch that. If you don't, that's fine, because, tier lists are just entertaining. I could watch a tier list about, toilet paper or something, and it's still entertaining. I don't know. It's something about the format. I've already started with a tier list. But I've only filled out the bottom tiers, not the top tiers, and which characters are banned, which aren't. Just because, this game has a lot of characters, and a lot of them don't even have, special powers or anything. So, I filled out C tier, D tier, and F tier, and here's just where I'm storing the top tiers for now. But let's just go through bottom and up, just explain each category of characters. So down here at the very bottom, we have the Protocol Droid, C-3PO, and whatever this silver guy's name is, I don't remember. Slow, no attacks, can be killed with a Zapper, no jumps. They're just, they're the worst characters. Then we have the guys who can fit through small areas, who have no attacks. Dexter Jester, no attacks, he's just there. Boss Nass, same thing. Imperial Spy, same thing. Gamorrean Guard and Imperial Guard, they just have very slow attacks. There might be certain use cases for them, but it's really not worth it. Then we have our Astromech Droids. These guys are okay. They do have a Zapper, but it's super slow. I don't really see a case where you could actually use it. They can float over distances, so that is an attribute, but they're still not very good. They're still slow, can't jump, all that. Pit Droid and PK Droid are here. They're slow, they're much like these guys, but their hitbox is actually very small, which I imagine a very skilled player could swap into them while they're being attacked to, graze off a hit or something. So they might have a use case. Then we have Super Battle Droid. Now, Super Battle Droid in the game is supposed to be this super powerful being, but in reality, he's slow, he can't jump, and his shots aren't even that fast. His shots are slower than most of the blaster characters, and they're even slower than the regular battle droids. Super Battle Droid is just a bad character. And then Lobot and Kit Fisto here, they only have melee attacks, they only have fists, I believe, which aren't very good, but that's why they're down here. They're not that bad for F tier. And then Chancellor Palpatine, he can't get hit by force effects, but he's still just a generally useless character. Next up we have basically the blaster character tier. These are all the blaster characters without any special properties. So battle droids, stormtroopers. Didn't fully organize this one. I'm sure there's some things you could change around. Up here, Tusken Raider. He's okay. He has a decent bullet spread, which can be used for some zoning, especially if you have a bomb character too. So he's alright. Then we have our two Zapper characters. These are really good at killing droids, and there's a couple droids in the top tier, so that's why they're here, because Zappers one-shot droids, which makes these guys down here even worse. So up here, we have Lam Su and Ton Wei. They're the ones that can dance, which isn't very useful, but you can make your opponent pretty upset. And it gives you a lot of street cred if you do it. Up next, we have just all of the regular Jedi without any special properties. That's all of these guys. And then we have Captain Tark bolts. He has okay melee combos. I wouldn't count him out of the fight. And then we have all of our characters that can roll and then shoot off 3 times. Very good power to have in general, because you can shoot once as you're jumping up, roll, shoot 3 times, and that's a player's entire stock is just gone. So very good characters. And especially Indiana Jones, because his whip actually has extra range on the hitbox. So you can kind of catch people off guard with that. Next up is Gonk, because we enable Super Gonk, so that lets him move a lot quicker. He's a good escape character, especially if people are force pushing you, because then you can just get away even quicker. Next up is Jar Jar. Jar Jar, he's okay. He has a decent, jump height. And he actually has pretty good speed. Despite not having an attack, he's very good at running away. So now we get to making the actual tier list. The characters that you will probably use the whole game. First off, we're going to fill out Band. Ghost Yoda, Ghost Obi-Wan, and Ghost Anakin. They're all banned because they're literally invincible. Like, the fight would never end if these characters were allowed. The only thing that can kill them is being dragged off stage and then, falling in a pit. So, yeah, characters definitely banned up here. At the bottom of B tier, we have Geonosian and Watteau. Watteau's at the very bottom. These characters are good. They have decent fly speed, and they can just hover above the ground, which sometimes let them avoid certain attacks, and especially on the map Dagobah, they can just float above the swampland. Very decent characters. Watteau has a Zapper, while Geonosian has just a regular blaster. Not much else to say on them. Up next, we have our Ewok characters. I forget what the red guy's name is. But yeah, he's there too. So the Ewoks' projectiles, after they shoot them, basically what happens, there's a trajectory. So once one is fired, if it gets reflected back at you, it keeps falling down. So it never sort of goes back up. Which means you end up with a lot of projectiles that end up not hitting you back, which is good for certain spacings and certain ranges. That's why they're up here. Up next is definitely... where is he? General Grievous. General Grievous is slow. He is not very good. But if your opponent is used to faster timings from other Jedi and Sith, then he can actually mix up your opponent pretty good, just because how slow he is. He also has this special back roll that lets him go pretty fast backwards. Up next are our bounty hunters without any real special properties. That'll be Zam Wesell and IG-88. These characters have regular blasters. These characters have bombs, which is very useful. In general, they're not super good, but they give you access to bombs, which is one of the best tools in the game. One of the things to note, though, is that IG-88, he's still a robot, which means he can be zapped, which means he can be one-shot. So that's why Zam Wesell is slightly above him. After them, we have our Wookiee class of characters, which is Chewbacca and then Wookiee. These characters, very fast fire rate and very strong melee attacks. Really some of the, I think, the best DPS in the game. I think they can kill you faster than bombs. Only thing I can think of that would be more damaging than them is coming up soon on the tier list, trust me. Alright, and we have 3 last characters on B tier. These 3 guys have the ability to roll after they jump, which lets them fire off 3 quick shots, much like the characters down here in C tier, except they also have access to bombs, which can be a pretty deadly combination. Also, their regular firing rate is a lot faster. So these 3 definitely a force to be reckoned with. We're on to A tier now. At the bottom of A tier, we have Darth Maul. Darth Maul, he cannot be force affected, but he doesn't have any special force powers of his own. So he's just sort of there, you know? Just a decent Jedi who's immune to a lot of effects. After him, we have Yoda. He's fast and not his regular move speed, but all of his attacks let him go really quickly, especially his mid-air attack. Not the one that goes down, the one that goes forward, really goes forward. Also, he's immune to Force Lightning and Force Choke. Although Force Lightning can still grab him, but it sends him to the ground and doesn't damage him. Very good rushdown character, I feel like. Up next, General Grievous's bodyguard. He's also immune to force effects, and he can't be zapped. I don't think any of these characters up here, except for IG-88, can be. General Grievous is also immune to being zapped, but Grievous's bodyguard is fast, like super fast, and he has the double jump. His midair, if you just keep doing it over and over again, your opponent can basically not hit you unless they use a bomb. That's the only way they could hit you. So very good mobility character to just wear down your opponents with. Up next, we have Darth Vader, Count Dooku, and the Emperor. So these three characters have a special ability where they can force lightning or force choke a character into the air, and that stops whatever the character is doing, and the character either has to swap out or wait and just get hit, because it's sort of like a grab, basically. One of the best tools in the game. Darth Vader can't use it on Yoda, and these two, whenever Yoda gets hit, he falls to the ground. It's just sort of weird property, but the Emperor is the best just because his forward attack is much like Yoda's, where it has a lot of momentum and really gets you going far. Last character in A tier is going to be Boba Fett. Is this Jango? No, this is Boba Fett. Boba Fett, interesting firing patterns. So while you're on the ground, you shoot once and then you shoot another bullet. But while you're jumping, you actually shoot them as one, sort of. So and when you're using your jetpack, which he has, very useful tool, you can mix up the firing pattern and it'll go 1-2, much like when you're on the ground. So just a very versatile character, and he has bombs. So probably, yeah, he's the best character for zoning in the game. And now we're on to S tier, the best characters in the game. First off, we have 4-LOM. 4-LOM is one of the two characters with the special blaster that does double damage. 4-LOM also has access to bombs, a regular jump, but also okay move speed. But that double damage blaster is insane. You can two-shot people, you can get crazy combos off with it, especially if you have someone who can force choke or lightning grab them, then you can just combo that all day and basically just win the match. Even stronger than him is Jango Fett. Jango Fett has the backpack, so he can float too. That's really the only reason he's better, and 4-LOM is a droid, so he can get killed by zappers. 4-LOM does have a better sort of melee attack, but it's counteracted by the fact that he's a droid and he can get zapped. And number one spot has to be Droideka. Let me tell you why Droideka's insane. Droideka has the fastest move speed in the game. Even like when Super Gonks turned on, Droideka moves faster. Droideka has the special shield. Basically, regular shots that hit it, like, do damage to it, but it has 10 HP. And if you swap and then swap back, it regenerates the health. So Droideka can just choose to be invincible to some damage. Droideka, if they hit you with both of their blaster shots, if they hit you with that, you're dead. Each of those shots does 2 hearts of damage. So Droideka can easily end people whenever they're nearby. The best character in the game, although it does have a couple of weaknesses. For one, Droideka can be super zappered, which means if he gets zapped, he'll instantly die, because he is a droid. So that's one weakness, but normally whenever you're within range, Droideka will just kill you anyway. So you have to be very, very sneaky with your play on that. And another thing is Bounty Hunter bombs exploding on Droideka's shield. So Bounty Hunter bombs are always a one-shot, because they deal 4 hearts of damage. When it hits Droideka's shield, it goes off. So that makes Droideka have a huge hitbox in comparison. So Droideka is the best character in the game, but it has its weaknesses, and it is definitely counterable within the game's meta. But yeah, that'll do it for the tier list. See you guys later. Don't forget to subscribe, because that's actually very important. Do that.